Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Heather Lewis and I started flipping furniture a couple months ago when I moved to a new city. I was in between jobs and I didn't know what to do for a job, so I decided to start flipping furniture until I found a new job. But it ended up paying all my rent, so I've been flipping furniture since, and that's all I've been doing in order to pay my rent. So a couple weeks ago, I ran across another mid-century modern piece. It's a set of two, and they're in kind of beaten up condition, so I think that this will be absolutely perfect to flip. The last mid-century modern flip, we did black, and we are doing that again because it just sold so fast. But I thought I would change up the color of the hardware, so we're gonna do that today. So we're gonna get right out there and we'll start with the first step, which is taking the hardware off. Jeez, I don't know if this hardware has ever been taken off, because even with the screw out, I had to just grab it off. Look how cute this hardware is though. It's so unique. I've seen pieces a lot like it, but never anything like this. And I just think this is beautiful. I love this hardware. Definitely gonna be keeping this. Okay, I think the same thing is going for this one. So look, the screw is off. This isn't coming out. You gotta jeez. It's been a while since this hardware has been taken off. Now, if you guys can notice here, I have two solo cups. I like to keep the two when I'm doing two dressers at one time. I like to keep them separate just because sometimes the hardware is not always the same lengths, so it just makes it so much easier when you're putting the hardware back on for it to, you know, what hardware goes where. So we got two different ones. So you guys, I didn't notice this until just now, but this is actually Bassett furniture. So when you're picking up furniture or you're redoing any furniture, seeing logos like these are extremely important, and it just ups the value of the piece, I guess you could say. Brands that know they have high quality pieces will have those stamps in there so that they can be recognized by their quality of furniture. So you know that you've got a good piece quality of furniture if there's a stamp in there. And I happen to love Bassett furniture, so it's a good sign. Now that the hardware is off, we're gonna get into the second step of prep work, and that is cleaning off the piece. Okay, so when it comes time to cleaning, what I always do is I take Dawn dish soap and my bucket of warm water with a new rag, and I just wipe it all down. I wipe the entire piece down, the top, the bottoms, the drawers, inside the drawers. And this is really going to help get any of the dirt, the grime, the grease off, any spider webs if it's been sitting for a while, and it can also help get odor out. so we got all of that wiped off. Now we need to go back again and rinse with just regular water. Alright, as I was wiping it off, I did find some parts that needed to be filled with wood filler, so we're going in with the wood filler to fill it. Okay, so I found that there were a lot of nicks on the dressers, so I took your guys' advice and I got a smaller putty knife, and I got this from the dollar store, and it's pretty great quality too, so I'm pretty surprised by that, and I just used it and I love it so far. And then I decided to switch up my wood filler. I wasn't the biggest fan of the wood filler I've used in the past, but I did run across this color changing wood filler, and it's more of a putty, you know, it's like a more of a smooth consistency than a grainy one like the last wood filler I've been using. And what I really like about this is that it goes on pink, but once it's dry, it turns into the natural wood color. So we just put that on, as you'll see in the video, and so far I'm loving it. I'm just gonna wait for it to dry. Okay, so it's been about an hour now, and you can see that it is all tan. It's not pink anymore. You can see right there as well. So now we are going to go in with 150 grit. We just want to scuff sand it so that the paint can adhere to the surface. So we're gonna get started and do that. Alright, so everything has now been sanded. It might be a little bit hard to tell just because it's such a light color, but everything is all roughened up, so that's perfect for painting conditions. So now all we have to do is wipe off the sawdust with a wet rag, and we'll be ready to take it inside to prime. Alright, everything's wiped off. Now it's time to get everything inside so that we can start priming. Alright, so now we are on the priming stage, and I like to roll on my primer. I find that it's a lot faster, it's a lot smoother, and there's a lot less waste as well when you're priming. So I am using the 123 Zinsser primer. I've used that in my other videos and I really like it. So we're just gonna get started on priming this first piece. Now I'm not sure which part shows once the drawers are in, so I'm just gonna do with what I see with the primer, but then with the paint I'm gonna make sure I do really well because I don't want to have to go back later and apply more paint. So right on these curves, I'm not exactly sure where the drawer slides cut off these pieces, so we'll wait until then. Alright, so I took a second to clean out the inside of the dresser. Usually I do that, but for some reason it spaced my mind, and I'm so glad that I did because this is a very old dresser and there was a lot of dust. So now that we got that out of the way, we're gonna keep on priming. Try to do that before you put any paint on because you risk the chance of the dust getting in the primer, so I had to be super careful. But yeah, we're gonna keep priming now. Okay, so I'm painting the drawer, and I don't ever put tape on the sides of the drawers because I know if I take a wet paper towel while the paint is still wet, I can get most of it off. It might show up just a little bit. Really, that's only because I decided to turn my phone on to record this, but it will come off with a wet paper towel, so make sure that you have one of those nearby, or whatever you need to do in case you get it on there. Otherwise, you can use tape, which a lot of people do. So the drawers are all done and everything has been primed, so now we just have to wait for it to dry and we can go on to painting. All right, you guys, it is day 2 of flipping this dresser set, and we are going to be using this black paint that we used in the last video that I had done the mid-century modern dressers with. You know, that set sold so fast that, you know, like, you want to change things up, but also when you know something sells, you want to do it again, and that's where I'm at with this one. So we're going to be doing the black again, but as I said before, we are going to change the hardware up, so you'll see something a little bit different there. But this is the Volkswagen Signature paint. You can get this at Lowe's. I chose satin for this one, and a lot of people say that I shouldn't be using this on the dressers, but so far it's turned out really great on everything that I've done so far. So we're gonna get started on painting on the first coat. Alright, so the first coat is on. Now all we have to do is let it dry and we can get into the second coat. Alright, so the first coat is now dry and we are moving on to the second coat. I looked it over to make sure that it didn't need a sanding in between, and I don't know why, but this paint always dries super smooth. So, I mean, that's a good thing. So we're not gonna sand on top of this first coat. We're just gonna get right into the second one. Now, I didn't focus on this too much during the first coat because it's the first coat and this second coat is gonna be on top. But when you're doing like the last coat, you want to make sure to do one long swipe. This will just help prevent brush strokes and it'll give it a more even finish. So I'm making sure whatever I do for the last stroke, it's all the way through. And always try to brush with the grain. So remember that from the beginning. Okay, now that all the drawers are done and the second coat is on everything, we are gonna stop to let that dry and work on the hardware. All right, so we took a little detour to my bathtub here and we are going to wash some hardware. I still have these separated between the two, so I'm gonna do this stack first. In here, I just have water and Dawn dish soap. Again, Dawn dish soap is such a good grease cutter, so I can rely on that for cleaning up everything. Just gonna put these in here. And then I'm gonna let it soak for 5 minutes. All right, now that they've been soaking, I'm gonna take a microfiber towel, get it wet, and really I'm just gonna scrub these. I mean, I just wanna get them clean since we are gonna be spray painting them. So I can't get them perfect, but I can get any of the loose stuff off of them. And then just gonna rinse it, and I'm just gonna put it on a towel for now. And then I'm gonna do that for all of the hardware. All right, I am going to do the same thing with the other set of hardware, and I'm gonna let these air dry and then we can get started on spray painting them. So for spray paint, now that this is all dried off and cleaned off, we are going to be doing rose gold. And I've got a cute little spray gun here. It makes it super easy. So we're gonna go ahead and spray paint the hardware. All right, so that spray paint is all on now. We just have to let it dry and then we'll flip them over and do the other sides. It doesn't take long for these to dry, so we've flipped them all over and we're gonna be spray painting the other side now. Now again, we gotta let these dry and then we'll put the protective coat on these. All right, the second coat has now been dried and we got the hardware going. So we are going to be putting on the top coat. We are using the Minwax Polyacrylic Clear Matte, I believe. Yep, Clear Matte. I've got it in this cup right here and we're just gonna apply it to all the dressers and the drawers. Okay, now that all of the top coat is on, all we have to do is get the hardware on. All right, you guys, this is the final product. So, there's one thing that I didn't show that was on camera, but I want to explain to you guys in case this ever happens to you. So as we were putting the drawers back in, some of the drawers were sticking on the top here, and that's because sometimes when you put like a layer of paint on, it thickens up just a little bit so that it can't go through. So what we ended up doing, and I didn't show this, but I sanded the top here just to thin it out a little bit, and then I sanded it a little bit more just so that I knew when I put this last coat of paint on, it would slide right through. So I just wanted to let you guys know that because I know I've run across this problem before and sometimes people don't know how to fix that. So anyways, this is the final product of both the dressers. I absolutely love the rose gold. I think that was a perfect touch to put on these mid-century modern pieces. I love doing black for these. I think with just how like sleek the drawers are, it's just, the black just makes it perfect. So we have yet to do another color for a mid-century modern, but I'm stuck on the black. So anyways, you guys, this is going to be the end of the video. If you like this type of content, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Comment down below if you guys have done a mid-century modern piece. And don't forget to like the video as well. See you in the next one. Bye.